Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Noelle, aka MakeupEsquire, and today I did this fun, girly Valentine's Day inspired makeup look. I did this halo eye using the Danessa Myricks Groundworks palette. This is in the Blooming Romance color story, and I also used the Natasha Denona retro palette for this look. Also used a combination of other favorites of mine, so I really hope you stick around, subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, turn on your notification bell so you know every time I post a new video. Love you! Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Noelle, aka MakeupEsquire, and today we are going to be getting ready for church. Also have a link to my email link in my bio. If you haven't joined my email list yet, I would love for you to. I also have a Facebook group named MakeupEsquires. If you haven't joined, I would love for you to at the link in my bio as well. And I will be linking everything I used today on my LTK if you would like any of the products that I use in today's live. Same with brushes and all of that fun stuff. And I think that this Chantecaille Future Skin Cushion Foundation will be a good one. Seems like it'll be a good match for me right now. This is in the shade Wheat. I'm going to be also showcasing the new Sonia G, the Voyage, the Trio brushes. They are still in stock. Oh, I also have the little mini sheer buffer as well that I've been loving lately. So these are some recent releases by Sonia G. This one's the third brush here in the new Voyage set. So I figure we can incorporate these brushes as well that I've been loving. This is actually the first time I'm trying this Sonia G Mini Sheer Buffer with this cushion foundation. It's working, but I don't know if it's like my favorite. The brush that I've really been enjoying with the cushion foundations in general is this Bisciotto 517 brush, which you can get at the Food A Bobo website through the link in my bio. And thank you so much for any of y'all that have used my links or that will be using my links, because I really appreciate it and it really helps my channel. I love this Bisciotto. It's a synthetic, the 517 brush, because the bristles are flat yet they're very, very, very soft, so no pokiness, and it really kind of helps get in there and get an even application of this cushion foundation. So this is giving a more mattifying finish because I did use the Hourglass Vanish primer before this. Hopefully they play well together. Yes, this is the BK Beauty 101. Lily says that in her experience the Bisciotto 517 brush is easier to wash than this highly coveted BK Beauty 101, which is also a good synthetic brush. As you can see, I had it right here within reach. It's very easy to wash. It dries really quickly as well. I'm just doing a quick little brow here with this brow pen by Glossier. I'm just trying to finish it. It's lasted forever, and every time I think that it's done and that I need to throw it out, it just keeps going and going and going. When I want to just do like a quick brow, that's where I tend to pull out a brow pen. This one's good. It's not my favorite. The Valentino Brow Trio is still my all-time favorite. It's this one right here, but I love it so much that that's why I try to use other ones and use that one sparingly just so I don't run out of it so quickly. I've also talked about how I've been loving the Victoria Beckham, the Baby Blade in the shade Dark Brown. Also been really enjoying that one. I'm just gonna take this eyeshadow primer and prime my eyelids real quick. I meant to do this before the foundation. I'm doing the eyeshadow primer trick here on my smile lines. If any of y'all have issues with creasing on your nasolabial folds, this is a really great trick that I learned from Brittany. Concealer. My tried and trues lately have been the Facelex by Sarah Creel, but just because I've been using the heck out of that and I just want to switch it up. Same with the Westman Atelier. That's been a tried and true as well. Some of my other favorite concealers are the Hourglass ones. I also do enjoy this Tom Ford one. The Charlotte Tilbury one is pretty good too. The Dior one is a great one. I've been liking the House Labs one as well. We'll do a little bit of Tom Ford and Hourglass. How about that? These two are really good. This Tom Ford concealer is in the shade 3W1 Golden, and as you can see, it's a closer shade match to my actual skin tone. So I usually like to take a concealer that's closer to my skin tone and then one that's a little bit lighter. How about we use the Charlotte Tilbury one? Just because I have it out right here. And this one is 1 or 2 shades lighter than my actual skin tone. This one's in the shade 7 Medium. So that's where I like to use it underneath my eyes because it is lighter. So it'll give us a brightening effect. I've just been using these two brushes a lot for my concealer. This is the Sarah Creel concealer brush, and then it's named the complexion brush. And then this is the BK Beauty and Nikki LaRose N14 brush. I like the N14 because it's just like the perfect shape to slap concealer on. I'm just gonna do a quick light spray just so I can get this concealer to spread out easily. Just gonna make sure that this is nice and spread out okay. I can see it kind of catching onto the the primer in certain areas. Let's hope it's not too obvious or noticeable. Let's try to use this mini sheer buffer by Sonia G with the shade and Illuminate by Tom Ford. Before Dior came out with their contour stick, I was using this Shade and Illuminate cream contour as my go-to cream contour. Fenty has a good one too that I like. So does Makeup Forever in their palette. I'm getting like a tiny bit of patchiness with this cream contour. I don't know what it is. Usually I'm okay by just blending out the cream contour with the same type of foundation that I used under it. So hopefully when it's all kind of powdered, it's all right. The only Suku products that I've tried as far as complexion goes is the concealer, the Suku concealer, shade 22, which I would say is probably a similar shade to the Sublimage concealer in shade 40. I think maybe the Suku one might be slightly lighter, but does have like a slightly peachy undertone. But this Chanel Sublimage is probably my all-time favorite concealer. My favorite setting powder is Huda Beauty. She's just the tried and true, so it's just automatically what I grab for. Let's just use the shade Cherry Blossom Cake today and Cupcake. Let's use a combination of both. I'm just gonna go in with my little triangle poof here into the Cherry Blossom Cake one, since we're doing pinky vibes today. When it comes to makeup products, complexion is really where I'm like the most passionate about testing out products, and I am willing to pay the price of good complexion products. What really got me into makeup from the age of 6th grade is when I started going through puberty and I started breaking out and had cystic acne, and since then I've struggled with acne really. So complexion is really like what I feel passionate about, and I'm willing to spend the money on products that make my complexion look as good as they can. I can really tell a difference between when I used to use drugstore products, but I have textured skin, so they just don't look as nice on my skin as higher end complexion products. I am planning later this month to get a CO2 cool peel. It's like laser and micro needling. So I'm curious to know if anybody has any experiences with any of those in-office procedures, because it's kind of hard to find that information out there since these lasers are recently able to be used on darker skin tones. That's why I like to use this Huda Beauty setting powder. It's very mattifying, and I do have oily skin, especially my T-zone. That's where I like to use a powder that's mattifying. And then I've spoken on here before about how I was on birth control for some years to try to control my cystic acne, and it kind of backfired and left me with this melasma that I have not been able to fully get rid of. Let's do some bronzer, shall we? Should we just do the YSL one? I think I used the Gucci one last time. I've talked about how much I love the Hermes one. I'm using the larger brush in the new Sonia G, the Voyage set. So if y'all are still eyeing this Sonia G trio, it is still available. It's limited edition though, so once it's gone, they're gone. I like the bronzer. It's just a little warm. I have the shade 3. I have more olive undertones as opposed to warmer undertones, so I do tend to like powders that lean more on the neutral side. I'm gonna use this Bisotto brush here for my nose contour and my tried and true Natasha Denona powder contour in the medium. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, is that too warm? Maybe once blush is on, hopefully it won't look too muddy, because that's the effect that it can have when it's a little too warm, is that it can look slightly muddy. I just want to put a little bit of lip liner on my lips though, so they're not just like super bare. I have this lip definer in the shade Tone by Chantecaille here. Chanel does have a cult following, but more importantly, Chanel's beauty line has backing from larger incubators that Hermes was not able to get if you're comparing the two business-wise. Let's go on to eyeshadow, the Danessa Myricks. This is the Groundworks Blooming Romance palette. This palette is kind of tricky for me to use. In my experience, it's like the creamy formulas aren't like super user-friendly. So let's start out with this creamy shade here. Yeah, I don't really use this palette that much because these are just, pinks are not the type of vibe that I usually go with when doing my eyes, and that's the same reason why I was kind of debating on even picking this palette up to begin with, because like I really did not need it. But I enjoyed her first Groundworks palette, and I just thought it was unique in the market, the fact that she gives us these pomades. So the larger pans in here are pomades, so they have a creamier texture, as you can see, like my fingernail indents in there, and then the smaller components are the powders. This Kolinsky blender brush is really awesome. This is a Fude Bobo and Bisotto collab, so you should be able to find this on the Fude Bobo website through the link in my bio, but I highly recommend it. This is a unique one on the market. You don't usually see a lot of blender brushes made out of Kolinsky, but I have really been enjoying it. Lightest to darkest. Okay, That's what I'm trying to do here. So started off with this kind of like mauve-y pomade in the shade Smitten. Let's maybe like deepen up the outer and inner corner, maybe with the shade Bliss and Dreamy. Maybe we can kind of combine those two. I'm gonna go in with like a smaller brush now though. I'm gonna go into both of these, Dreamy and Bliss. Like a halo type of eye with a cute little sparkle shade in the middle. I have the Natasha Denona Retro right here to help us out with the glitters. So I'm just trying to lay the foundation here. That's a legal term I'm used to saying often. Laying the foundation. Just kind of deepening up the inner and the outer corners here. I think that halo eyes are kind of underrated. Everybody always does like a deeper outer corner and then just like a really bright inner corner. But I personally love the look of halo eyes, which if y'all didn't know, if you're not familiar with the halo eye, it is where you deepen up the inner corner right here and the outer corner out here. And then you have like a pop of sparkle on the eyelid in the middle. This, by the way, is the Koyudo brush that I'm using. So it says Yoshiki there on the handle. This should also be available still on the Fude Bobo website. These babies come in a trio, and they're these really unique flame shapes that I absolutely love. They are tapered in this really lovely like bulbous shape. And you get a big one, a medium one, and a small one. And I just love the aesthetic of the white handles. I love how they feel. They're matte white too. Highly recommend these goat hair brushes. They're just super useful. I've been using the heck out of them. They're very unique shapes in the market. You don't really see these bulbous shapes like this. I don't know if y'all are Pokemon fans, but I used to watch Pokemon when I was younger, and I cannot not see Bulbasaur every time I look at these. Y'all are familiar with Bulbasaur? Okay, this is the first brush to use right here in the crease and just kind of blend out to make sure everything is nice and smoothly transitioning. I can for sure incorporate some Lovesick. I'm gonna use Lovesick now, which is this one right here. And as much as I love eyeshadow and everything, in reality on a day-to-day basis, I just don't always have time to do intricate eyeshadow looks. So that's a goal for myself for the next upcoming years, to try to just get better at using my eyeshadow products that I have. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of that Lovesick, I think, and just kind of drag it right below the lower lash line. Let's go in with the Shimmer Shade, and then if we want to deepen up the inner and outer corners further, we can. This is the Natasha Denona Retro palette. There's so many lovely shades in this. Helio and this one. So we'll do this one as the base, Helio, and then this one's Psychedelic for the center pop, shall we? So going in with Helio here, and I'm going in with this Fude Bobo and Bisotto collaboration flat Kolinsky brush, which I love to pack on shimmer. This is also available on the Fude Bobo website. I love this one for shimmers because you see how those bristles just grab onto those glittery particles so well. And then I like to just kind of tilt my eye this way so that I hopefully don't get too much fallout on my eyelashes, which I just did before this live in less than 10 minutes. These are Lashify eyelashes, by the way, and I've talked about how I stick these little clusters on underneath my real lashes, and I keep them on for a week at a time. I like to switch them out weekly. They're waterproof and everything. And I have a YouTube video up on my YouTube channel showing how I showcased putting on these lashes, and I also have some videos where I went live doing it on my Instagram. So I'm just packing on Helio. This is such a pretty color, isn't it? Just kind of prepping to put that psychedelic shade on top. I love this flat Kolinsky brush. Now I'm gonna go in with Psychedelic. I'm going to be using this Takeda brush. It's a little Kolinsky Takeda brush. It's nice and flat. It's just a little bit smaller in comparison to the one I was using before. So it offers just a little bit more precision. And you can see it's more tapered up here too. I unfortunately don't even have a link to this one. I don't even know what the name is. I honestly purchased it off somebody secondhand. So I apologize for that. But you could just totally use your finger for this step as well. Maybe we can spray our brush first. Whoops. Okay. I'm taking the Patrick Ta On Till Dawn setting spray. I just sprayed the brush so that hopefully it does a better job of grabbing onto that glitter. Yes, we love small detail brushes, right? A good alternative for this one that I rave about all the time is the Takeda KQ12S brush. This one's on the Food Able website, and this one would have been great for that too. Right now it's dirty with concealer because I love to use this one to carve out my eyebrows or like carve out my lip liner. But Tensado recently announced that they'll be having a price increase, I believe on April 1st. So I'm gonna try to incorporate more Tensado brushes into my looks and to talk about them more ahead of the price increase, if y'all are interested in Tensado. I like that KQ12S brush a lot from Tensado. And then Fude Bobo also recently added a couple of other flat Kolinsky Tensado brushes on her site as well. I have this one right here. This one's the KQ11G, which is a great flat kind of shaped Kolinsky brush, not as flat as the KQ12S, but this one's also great for so many tasks from eyeshadow to concealer. And I love Kolinsky because it can be used with creams and liquids and powders alike. Sometimes I try to keep things on the center eyelid and then I go overboard and it just gets all over the eyelid, but I'm really trying to be diligent about that today. I'm just gonna go back into the Bliss shade here and just kind of make sure that it's all nice and blended in, I think. Maybe I'll incorporate a little bit of Dreamy with that first brush that we used and just further blend out the crease. You know what kind of vibe I was thinking to go with was, you know, when Lindsay Lohan came out with her comeback look and she has just like these really pretty youthful pinky hues. Whoever did her makeup slayed. Maybe we'll deepen up the bottom lash line a little bit. I love this little Fude Bobo number 19 brush and their collaboration with number 8. It's a Fude company. This is on her website as well. And I'll just probably just do Bliss again and just deepen up that lower lash line and keep that shade kind of close to the lower lash line. I'm gonna go into the powder side of Bliss and smudge out the lower lash line. And maybe we can just deepen up the top lash line with one of these deeper shades here. Powder on the XO shade, which is the deepest one in the palette. And I'm gonna just deepen up the upper lash line. Should we maybe do a cute little wing coming together? I'm just going in with that powder side of XO, which is the darkest shade here in the palette still. The little precision brush and just kind of flicking out the wing. This is how I do a wing liner when I'm in a rush. Liner in quotes, because we're really just using a powder eyeshadow for it. This is where I love going with the Tensado KQ12S brush and just kind of cleaning up and sharpening up the wing. It's not like perfect, but should we do a liner? You know what? The Chantecaille one in the shade Amethyst is a contender. It's like really, really deep, but it has a little bit of purple. This is the Hourglass waterproof gel eyeliner in the shade Voyeur. That one's like a nice plummy one. And then this one's a random Laura Geller one that I have. I got it in like a pack at Nordstrom. That's tough, huh? Which one? I think maybe the Chantecaille one in the shade Amethyst will be good. And thank you so much to Chantecaille for gifting me this in the PR package that I opened on my most recent live. I showcased the items that Chantecaille gifted me, including the cushion foundation that I used today. So I'm trying to wipe these liners off and look, damn, that has some strong staying power. Look at that, y'all. I really I'm having a hard time getting these off. The one that came off the easiest was the Laura Geller one, and the middle one is that Chantecaille one, and this is like slightly damp too. And then the Hourglass one is the toughest to take off. So just FYI, hopefully that's a testament to their staying power on the eyes. Just gonna go in with a little bit of lower lash mascara. We'll go in with some blush. We'll finish off the lippy and then we'll be done. Maybe do a little bit of a highlighter if I hurry my ass up because I gotta get out of here soon. All right, this is the Dior lip liner in the shade 300. Just gonna kind of deepen up the line here on my lips. For a lippy, Pillow Talk Fair, that would be a cute nude. I thought about Weston Atelier's Fluffy, but I did just recently showcase that one in my YouTube video that I posted today, so trying to switch it up, although Fluffy would have been great too. And then I like to just take like a lip brush and spread it out, make sure it's all nice and blended out. Honestly, the lip brush that is my go-to is this Bisiotto one. It's the Kolinsky brush, and you can get it on the Fude Bubble website as well. I can add Fluffy to the outer edges. You think we should? I still have her in the box. If y'all can still get this, I would recommend it. It's limited edition. It's on Sephora's website where I got it. They may even have it at Nordstrom. I really got it for the shade Fluffy because the shade Fluffy was not already in their permanent line, and it's beautiful. I'm doing the outer edges like Elle said. Let's add a gloss, shall we? I think this one would be pretty. Chantecaille and Lucky. And then we'll do a blush. I thought these were limited edition, but I still saw them on the Chantecaille website. So I think y'all can still grab these blushes. They're gorge. Maybe a combination of both. And then this is where I will go back and use the Sonia G large brush in the Voyage set. And I'm going in with this Chantecaille blush. And this is the shade Anemone. So this is the purple cover one. We'll do Anemone, and then since this other one is brighter, we'll pop it on top. Let's go in with the medium sized brush from the Sonia G Voyage set. It's a squirrel brush. And we'll just pop it on top, like slightly higher. So I was pleasantly surprised that I saw them on the website. These are beautiful blushes from Chantecaille. I think a good highlighter for this look is the Dior one, since it leans slightly pink. This one's limited edition as well, so if y'all can still get it, I also highly recommend it. This Tom Ford one also has like a slightly pink tone to it, but I don't think you can get this one anymore. I think this might have been limited edition. This is a Soleil Neige Glow Highlighter in the shade Rose Irisy. They came out with two. They came out with a more golden one and a more pinky one. Love Tom Ford highlighters in general. I was thinking to use this Dior one in the shade 1 or Lumiere. So yes, if you can get this highlighter, I talked about this highlighter being one of my favorites of 2024 just because not only is it a really pretty highlighter, but the packaging, gorgeous. You see that? It's just stunning all around, from the actual pan to the outer packaging, the formula itself. I don't love using like limited edition products on my channel when you can't get them, but because you can still grab this, it is linked on my LTK as well. I always have a spoolie handy, that way in case my fude sheds, it's just easy to pick up with a spoolie and I don't have to mess up the makeup underneath, but it's normal for natural hair brushes to shed. I've also liked using this medium size brush for powder contour, but I don't know, we might be able to skip powder contour today since we used a cream contour. So I'll go in with the smallest little blender brush. It's Squirrel in the Sonia G The Voyage set, and I'll just do a pop. Somebody else recommends something to y'all and then it ends up like actually coming through as a product that you like. Love hearing feedback. Just doing a little bit on the nose, and I think that'll be it. I like to take like a really precise brush for the tip of my nose. I know it's extra. Fude Bobo also has this one on her website. It's a little Kalinsky, and this one's great for a little pop of highlight and also as a spot concealing brush. Love this one. Let me know if you want me to send you the link to any of the things I'm using today. I've been liking this Prada setting powder, just kind of like a last step finishing powder kind of. I know it's like a setting powder, but I just use it to kind of perfect my T-zone and blend out any harsh lines. And I've been liking this angled dyed goat hair from Bisciotto. It's kind of like the sister brush to the one I used for my nose contour, except it's angled and it's a little bit fluffier. And last time I looked on the Fude Bobo website, I think they were almost the same price, except this one was maybe like 500 yen more, but they were still fairly priced. This is how I've been liking using it, just kind of for finishing touches. Just a little bit of perfume. I've talked about before how I like to use a perfume that matches my outfit. So because we're doing pink, I have a lot of pink perfumes. I'm trying to switch it up and not use the same ones that I've already used. So this one's Angel Nova by Mugler, and there's this Valentino one. Finishing off with Valentino. And that's it, y'all. One last look at the look. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Love you.